stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to a pretty empty and busy San Diego Landings in Point Loma. And we have a great guest here from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. The tackle guru himself, Doug Kern, is here. We're going to be talking tackle, and all kinds of good stuff. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is on at your San Diego County Ford dealers. It's a great time to take a test drive to see what Ford's award-winning lineup of trucks and SUVs has to offer. You'll discover California's best-selling truck brand, Ford F-Series, equipped for anything your demanding job needs or the family vacation you're taking. Check out the Bronco family featuring the iconic Ford Bronco or the versatile Ford Bronco Sport. Both have muscle, tech, and durability needed to go anywhere. Whether it's gas, hybrid, or all-electric, visit your local dealership to find the perfect Ford for you during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is on at your San Diego County Ford dealers. It's a great time to take a test drive to see what Ford's award-winning lineup of trucks and SUVs has to offer. Visit your local San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Hey, it's time for the 30-second Power Pro Seminar. Here's the hot tip for those of us that like to fish with small reels for big fish. Fill your spools with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro. That means you're going to get more line on that small reel. Plus, you can fly line your bait more effectively. Here's another tip about Power Pro Max Quattro. Your casting distance will increase in addition to increasing your spool capacity. So downsize your tackle and use Power Pro Max Quattro. Check powerpro.com for more information.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. This is one of those mornings, man. Best behavior morning. Got both my bosses in here.
Yeah, man. Come on, straighten up.
Make sure my shirt doesn't have any wrinkles in it, you know?
It used to be that way, but Rick's one of the bosses now. So
Yeah, that's right.
You got three Hefes here.
Yeah, lots of bosses. Doug, how's Fisherman's Landing Tackle?
Yeah.
It's been a really interesting year. It's been great, actually, but I don't know that I've ever seen things switch on a dime as fast as they have this year. You know, we had fish kind of a little bit later than what we've had in the last, call it, I don't know, 7-8 years. We didn't really have anything that came in March or April, and then kind of started, seeing a little bit down below. And by June, we had fish biting, but I think everybody was, I don't know, sleeping in this season or something,
Well,
so,
look at the weather.
Well, this is June gloom in August here, but I'm talking in the beginning of the season. Usually when we have the first wave of fish, we have the first wave of fishermen, and I don't know what they were doing this year, but so it was a very gradual start, and then July 1st, it just went off.
It did.
Like Bill Poole used to say, shoot the fireworks off and go fishing. And holy crap. I mean, it went off like a shot. And
who'd you just mention?
Bill Poole.
Hi, this is Bill Poole of XL Sport Fishing.
There you go.
Hook up on Extra Sports 690.
How about that for a blast from the past? Huh?
That's cool,
I
dude.
love it.
That's
a
way
blast from the
cool.
past?
I absolutely love that.
Yeah. I saved that for you guys.
That's awesome.
He, is so much still the big part of this whole operation. His influence and, all these second and third generation captains that have come along and crew members and industry members have taken, his influence and advanced this industry like crazy. But so we've had great bluefin fishing since the 1st of July, but they keep switching it up. You've got 200 pounders, then you've got 40 pounders, then you've got live bait, and then you've got jigs, and then you've got kites, and now we've got private boat fish, and everything just keeps switching it up, and trying to keep up with what's this week's trend. We've gone through the whole tungsten thing, and that's been pretty consistent, but now we've got some fish out there that have been seen as small as they're saying 5 to 10 pounds. So
really,
that obviously there was a spawn this year. That's great news. We've talked to the scientists that come down here and go fishing on our boats, and they're studying. They're worldwide scientists. They're studying this bluefin bite for the last decade, and they say that everything is in place for this to be here for 5 to 10 to 15 years. That the ecosystem will support these bluefin for the long term.
Yeah,
we've already had it for a decade, and
has it been that long already?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean,
just over. I think this big fish wave started in 2014. And here we are, 2025.
Wow.
So and I remember that first year. My goodness. The only way you could ever imagine catching a 200-pound tuna was to go on a long-range trip down into Baja, and there were just little isolated catches of these cow tuna right out in our backyard here, and everybody's trying to figure out the best way to do it. And there were a couple of fish caught on tranxes, and then just like Talica 12s, and the totally wrong year. And then it sort of started morphing into, if the Pacific Queen, I remember this was an actual example, caught 3 fish, and the boat filled up within basically minutes because you had the chance to catch. It wasn't that you were going to catch a fish. You had a chance to catch a 200-pound tuna. Now it's become more commonplace. So people want to see that we're catching at least a fish per round before they want to hop on the boat.
That was a feat that was only even potentially thought of on a 16-day or longer fishing trip.
Yeah, and all these guys that were, flying down to Puerto Vallarta for 4 and 5 days because they didn't have 16 days. And, the 200-pound tuna is the benchmark of a truly world-class catch. And to be able to, think that you might get on a San Diego sport boat out of Fisherman's Landing and go out 60 to 100 miles and have a legitimate chance to hook a 200-pound tuna. And people just went crazy, and still people love this fishery. It's such an interesting fishery. We have daytime fish where you can throw a bait, you can throw a Colt sniper, you can throw a popper and catch a nice, people call them, schoolies now, 60-pound tuna. That used to be the jackpot on any boat, any year out of Fisherman's Landing for decades.
So 2014 to 2025, what has changed in your tackle world? What has come that helps you catch those bigger fish?
Well, so just like long range fishing, so I think that we had a really good foundation to build from, because we've outfitted people for, large fish, multiple different types of fishing, jigs, bait, leaders, trolling. Pick your method. But it was definitely the Wild West and a learning curve. And so the bluefin don't fight as hard no matter what anybody says, as a yellowfin tuna. So a yellowfin tuna, you needed kind of a minimum of a 30 wide size reel, 100-pound test to really have a legitimate chance to catch one. Yes, Pete Gray, the first year that the Trinidad 30 came out, caught a 181 pounder. That's not normal. He's a beast over there.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, don't forget that was 25 years ago too.
But so the wrong tackle can catch a big fish. But so everybody started experimenting, and there was a lot of, in the early years, I remember the popper year. Holy moly! There were foamers on the 9 Mile bank and other local banks. And so we started learning that method that, we could catch them on poppers. And I remember the haymaker, with the red head, and everybody was throwing these haymakers and catching these nice tuna. And so the other method that started coming was the kite fishing. So, the long range boats had some success with yummy flyers. And so we carried a little section of yummy flyers in their packages. We carried like a dozen. In a normal year, we sold 24 yummy flyers. It was just like a C item in our store, just kind of a, some.
Are they still biting it?
Some of our yacht guys would come in and buy those things. And then the first year that they started figuring out how to use a yummy flyer, we sold 1,100.
1,100.
And so we were getting,
our average was 24 a year for 10 years. We've been selling yummy flyers forever.
20 years, whatever it was.
Jason Fleck was the guy that kind of made those, semi-famous, and we'd sell a couple dozen a year. Every year it was like clockwork. We'd buy 12 at a time. Throughout the year, they'd sell out. We'd buy 12 more, and that would kind of last until next season.
We had 3 pegs with 4 yummy flyers, and every once in a while, somebody bring one up to the register. And a lot of times it was a yacht guy that was going down, to the Riviera's or somewhere into Baja and using it for yellowfin.
Sure.
And
then that first year,
so then we sold 1,100.
So what about today? I mean, now that you've got the California flyer, you've got live flyers, you've got frozen flyers. Are you still selling yummy flyers?
Yes, as a matter of fact,
yummy right now.
We ran out last week because
yummy's hot, huh?
It had been
the deal.
The little 2 and 4 pack guys have it wired, and it's a great way to catch their passengers 1 or 2 big fish.
And it's like all about the mode that those fish happen to be in. And a yummy flyer is really good when it's small packs of fish, not big giant flat spots,
spread out,
not up on the shallow, not like clockwork, at 2 o'clock, all that fish is going to float. And, we're just going to slowly drift the thing into it. When you're in a little bit of search mode, you can cover a ton of ground. And it's really good for getting bites when they're in that wolf pack mode and they're spread out. And that's exactly what that big fish is right now. And it has been tremendously popular again right now.
Well, and if you gyro up something in the distance, 1 mile or 2 miles away, it's like you're trolling. You can move your boat towards the fish. And some of these other methods, it's not really, you can't really do that. You get into an area and you're a little bit more stationary.
Right.
But all these methods, in the beginning started, going into our arsenal. We started putting leaders on flat falls. Flat fall, the 300 and the 350. Well, first it was the 200 and the 250. Flat fall, you couldn't have anything lighter than a 200, and that was like the top stuff you could use. And we were putting 130-pound leaders on. Oh my God, this big game tackle, Well, those tuna were sucking those flat falls down and chafing off that 130 like it was dental floss. So, then we finally went to 200-pound, and then Shimano comes out and they reacted 300 and 350 flat falls. So, you go out there at night, you meter up some tuna, you drop your flat fall down, and then all of a sudden I hear this, you got to have a rip roller. What in the H is a rip roller, And so that became the next thing, knife jigs. And so we're putting 200-pound leaders, and then you got to have, assist hooks, which we've always been traditionalists, and we put big game hooks and treble hooks. And so we started discovering the world of, assist hook became the norm, which it was goofy before that to put that on any kind of a jig.
Yeah.
And then on the smaller fish, cold snipers. So all the metal jigs were all the rage. And then it just started going forward, and again, not keep picking on the Pacific Queen, but they're pretty progressive and innovative, and they told us you got to get these SK jigs. So they're a little shorter, fatter jig, and they sink a little faster than a flat fall. So that was the rip roller and the SK were the foray into faster sinking jigs.
Oh.
And then fast forward to, the end of last year, and then holy moly, this year, like crazy, tungsten. It's the most dense, heavy material that you can make a jig out of. And so we're using 300, it started out at 180 grams, the size of a Colt sniper that, would be 80 grams. So they sink, so much faster. Well, now we've got access to 300-gram tungsten jigs that is the same weight as the big giant rip rollers that we were using, but they get down so much quicker. So the innovation,
what about eddy bombs? You didn't say anything about eddy bombs.
We're getting there.
Oh, okay.
So then, we morphed into, we've always been a live bait fishery. And so guys would go into a stop, and the fish are down at, even daytime fish at 150 feet. So guys would strap a 4-ounce sinker on to their line with a rubber band and send a jig down. Well, that turned into the nighttime thing for the cows. They're putting a 16-ounce sinker on, sending it down, get your sardine down in the zone, get a bite. Well, some of those bites were eating the sinker, a 16-ounce sinker. They're eating it. And some of those fish, the sinker would go through the gills and they'd get hung up in it. And so they'd catch the fish, and they observed. They didn't eat the bait. They ate the sinker. So then, fishermen being innovative, and it was kind of more of a joke in the beginning. We even rigged one in the tackle store, ha ha ha. I said, I guarantee you somebody's going to buy this thing. And we put it up, as a joke. But, Eddie, started putting hooks on these things and sending them down and started catching tuna. So now a 16-ounce torpedo weight, well, most 16-ounce torpedo weights don't have wire that goes all the way through the sinker. They just have 2 little eyelets made out of brass in the end. And so, they put a hook on one end and their leader on the other end, and they pull the brass out of the thing. So now we've got, they're making weights with stainless steel wire going all the way through it. I mean, the innovation in the last 10 years, there's no way I can describe it all. This is just like the tip.
That's
of the
just
tip of
lures.
the iceberg.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only lures.
Well, and some of the bait methods, but so then, and we called Leadmaster because they make the sinkers for us. We said, I know this sounds goofy, but you need to paint some of those up in Katy Perry and red polka dot and some of the jig colors, because the people will buy them more. It's not going to work any better, but and so they didn't do it for 2 or 3 years. But then you just saw like 10 companies are making these Gucci painted stainless steel wire through 16-ounce sinkers. Some of them have eyeballs and fins on them, and the two fish Midnight Rider. And so our theme song in the tackle store now is the Allman Brothers Midnight Rider.
Midnight Rider, especially when Brandon's working.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's been a really fun, crazy ride, and like the fun thing about this Bluefin is it just always seems to give you another. It just gives you another shape and another take and another thing. And I had such a chuckle when I came into the shop. It was literally yesterday, and it was Doug had a clipboard in his hand, and he was like frantically writing down an order. And he goes, I just never seen it switch so fast. On Monday morning, we were rigging tungsten jigs as fast as the guys could behind the counter. So it would have been over the weekend. The guys that all came back on Monday, specifically the Shogun, they had a really good trip where they were biting the tungsten like really good. Blake ran the trip, and he told, so his trip the night before, a couple guys had it and got him really good.
What size skunks?
300s.
300s.
So
Wow.
Blake told all those guys, hey man, on our last trip, they bit these really good. So a higher percentage of guys, came in, bought them, had them for the trip.
That's like the $120 jobber.
I mean, from $79 to $150.
Wow.
But anyways, on Monday, a bunch of guys saw how good that they had worked over the weekend, so they were flying. So on Monday we were rigging a bunch of tungsten jigs, and then on Friday I looked at Doug. He's like, on Monday we were rigging tungsten as fast as we could. Today he goes, we can't keep a clear popper on the shelf, and Doug was like frantically writing orders for clear poppers and the old school lighter weight flat falls have like totally come back into the zone, because a lot of fish were up high in the water column, and like 100-gram or 130-gram flat fall was like the ticket a couple days ago. It's just been fun.
Yeah,
seeing
every
the fish
day is
and
different.
change. Totally, it's been really cool.
A unique situation, but you're just rigging leaders and selling licenses and, helping people out, fill in line. And then the radio rings and it's like, we need every passenger to have 100-gram flatfall jig. We haven't sold one of those in 5 years.
Wow.
That's what the daytime fish were biting.
The
And
daytime fish.
we don't ever try to figure out why. We give them what they want.
Yeah.
And so
This the old school standard flat
the
fall.
standard one that just going back to
That
the
I have
very-
like 20 of them. I tackle
Yeah.
them.
Exactly. Yeah.
just going back to like the first maybe 3 years on a daytime trip where you go out to the 43 and you find some bluefin and you either put a sinker on a sardine or you throw a flat fall. And they were all those 100, 130, and 160 grams. And we had like plastic Home Depot bins full of those things. And then when it finally shut off, it's like, okay,
What are we gonna do with all these?
down for melt value or what? I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then they sell
and,
again.
and now
Yeah.
it's recycling. All
Yeah.
this stuff recycles. And the poppers that we had in the beginning, that again, they've become refined. The clear popper, for whatever reason, does work better. The medium size instead of that giant 190 haymaker.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
th-
interesting.
Those
fun.
haymakers were so funny because they'd break them off on the cast or on the fish. And so guys are in their gyros and they'd say, I got one. And they were talking about a red head floating. They were getting these $32 jigs,
Jigs is
picking them up out of
picking
the
them up.
ocean. I
Yeah.
didn't have to buy one. Just pick up somebody else's
Oh, yeah.
popper,
Yeah, for sure. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. We just scratched the surface about tackle and technique here on Let's Talk Hookup this morning.
Yeah, it's always so fun having Doug in here. And boy, it's just not often that we get to have somebody that's on the pulse of the tackle game. And it's going to be a lot of fun this morning, talking tackle and gear with Doug. Hey, if you want to join us, man, we want to hear from you. Give us a call at 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. Jeff is standing by at the fan, taking your phone calls this morning. And man, do we have a fun one today. Also, a lot of great text messages already coming through. If you want to text into the show, the only way to do that is through our Let's Talk Hookup app. If you don't have it already, it's a free download, and it's a very easy and fun way to participate on Let's Talk Hookup through that Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download, and it's the only way you can text in your questions today. Hey, we are giving away such a killer prize. Today, one lucky caller or texter at the end of the show is going to win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses. Pete's showing them off to that live webcam. If you're looking at Facebook and YouTube Live right now, it's the Costa Reefton Pros.
I really like these.
I love those. That's my style of glass right there. It's a Costa gray frame with that gray silver mirror lens. That's my favorite lens. I love it. That's a really, really cool pair. Not too flashy. I love them. I love those. Like Costa used to make a pair. They called them blackouts, and they had the black
Ooh,
C
they look
instead
good
of the
on
chrome.
Doug. Look at that.
I really, that's one of my favorite shades right there. So somebody's going to get them a brand new Reefton Pro pair of Costas given away at the end of the show today to either a caller or texter. And as always, that's going to be decided by the coin flip at the end of the show. Again, if you want to get through, send us a text or give us a call, 833-288-0973. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. We've got catch reports, all kinds of great info coming your way. You stay tuned at Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
The fish are biting and it's time to go. Hi, this is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, or maybe in front of the shop on my kayak. It doesn't matter if you are out there on a kayak with me, on your boat, headed out on a sport boat. Dana Landing has everything you need. We call it the one-stop shop for a great day on the water because it truly is. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. Our tackle shop, headed by John, is certainly one of the best. For freshwater tackle, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. These guys have the best rods and reels and the hottest lures and live bait. Our newest shop is Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with a great stock of both fresh and saltwater tackle right in the heart of Lemon Grove. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, 94 to Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
Anyone
Everyone that's been to the East Cape knows Smokey's Curing Company Cantina, the best food and drink in Los Barriles, and a fun place to hang out and watch your favorite sporting event. If you're lucky, you probably had Smokey's process your fish to take home. Their quality and service is top-notch. You'll see me at Smokey's Cantina hanging out with the owner, Chris, and my buddies when fishing in the East Cape. And we always send our fish to be processed at Smokey's, too. Now Chris has added one of the finest boats in the East Cape available for you to charter for a day or more of fishing. Vaquera. It's an immaculate 35 Cabo with a seakeeper and Captain Diego Romero, one of Baja's best. If you're looking for a great charter boat when fishing at Palmas, Playa, or other resorts, Vaquera, booked at BajaSmokies.com, should be your choice. So when you're headed to the East Cape, be sure to stop by Smokey's Curing Company Cantina. Send your fish to be processed there and fish aboard the 35 Cabo Vaquera. Check BajaSmokies.com for more details.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. Need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Been a busy morning. Phones are already getting packed in. We got some really good text standing by. No question, no surprise when we got Doug in here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the phones, Rick.
You got it, man. We're going to start this morning with John. He's calling us from Colorado Springs. John, good morning. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, guys. It's exciting. All the jigs that I was going to ask Doug, where do you put all those jigs? I know I got a garage full of jigs from the last 10 years.
Well, it's just crazy what, this little tiny tackle store that sprang out of the 50s and 60s has become. And all it is a big tackle box. And, when you buy a tackle box, you've got all this room. And after the first season, you got to buy a bigger one. And so we have 5 storage units that
5 storage units
that we store all this stuff. And I mean,
and you rotate it in when you need it.
No, we go across the street every day.
Yeah. Oh, really? We need more of this.
And so it's sweatshirts and boots and jigs and rods and whatever we have over there. Like we were talking about, you get the hot jig of the day in. And, they become scarce in an instant. So we buy heavy, and then sometimes you sit on it. Like we were talking about those flat falls, you sit on it for a couple of years or 3 years. The poppers, we haven't sold a popper in the last 3 or 4 years. And all of a sudden the rack is empty. So, it takes a lot of money because we've got it tied up for too long. Our retail business doesn't operate in turns like every other retail business does. When you're CVS pharmacy, you're going to sell some Advil and it's just steady, but fishing conditions change and people's perceptions change and the techniques advance. So so we've got a lot of jigs sitting in the store that aren't necessarily the hot jig at the moment, and they trickle out of there because they still work, but they recycle around, and and then when something is clearly dead, that's then we sell it at tackle day for pennies on the dollar, and they still work for somebody somewhere. But the lure game is a fun game. It's a chess game. It's extremely fun, and it can be frustrating at the same time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Great way to put it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Before I forget,
yes,
because that happens in 2 hours goes so fast.
Oh my gosh, fast as 2 hours on radio.
Yeah, it really is.
Tackle Day. You and I talked about it the other day. It's like November 1st.
November 1st.
It's early.
It's always the first Saturday in November,
which is November 1st.
So yeah, so it's been coming back one day. So it started at the 7th and the 6th and the 5th. And I think in leap year, you jump past one. But anyway, it's the 1st. And then so probably I'm guessing next year it'll be the 7th, which is almost getting in the second week of November.
Yeah.
But we've got some fun things already starting to be planned for that. I've hit up all the vendors, and you got to love technology. So I used to do phone calls and letters and whatever. Now you just email everybody, and within like 8 minutes, we already have like 15 vendors that are. Oh yeah, we'll be there.
We'll be there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mark your calendar, November 1st, Tackle Day. It's going to be the user grade event. A lot of great vendors displaying their product, and lots of great sales too. And of course, Rollo's still involved, right?
Oh yeah.
Do the big.
Yep. We've got the Rollo raffle
and raffle and
whatever they decide to put together for it. But it's been the Pick-a-Box has been the big hit all these years. Yeah.
Let me give a little tease.
Okay. All right, Ricky.
So,
all right.
so I cannot be specific. I cannot, but one of the coolest opportunities happens on an event like a Tackle Days when there is a change in gear, like a change in model. This rod was available, but they decided to change guides. And so going forward, the new model has black guides and the old one had gold guides. So those are the opportunities when you can score a crazy deal on the gold guide rod. There is a certain manufacturer of a certain very popular reel that has made a model change.
Oh.
And there might just be a deal at Tackle Days.
This begins.
That's all. I'm not going to say anything beyond that.
All right.
But I would say that this is going to be a very special Tackle Day. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's great.
This year, I really do think, and I mean, I know we say it every year, and I'm biased, and I'm so proud of it and everything. I think this will be our best one we've ever had, just because we've got the opportunity. We've got the opportunity to get to blow out some of the most important and like gear that we all use every day. Like we always have big sales. That's what Tackle Day is. It's when Doug gets wild and lets loose with the price and all of those things and the buy one get ones and all those things. This year we'll have the best ammo that we've ever had to do a Tackle Day. So we've got like premium first run stuff that will be on Mega. It's going to be a really good one this year.
And since we're getting June weather in August, maybe we'll have August weather in November.
Sign me up.
If there's any weathermen out there that are, really savvy at studying this stuff, what in the heck is going on?
Yeah.
We had June gloom.
It's drizzling this morning.
We had May gray, June gloom,
the
and then I called it July gray sky. And I can't think of one that rhymes for August, but I mean, every day in August,
cold water.
It's
lame.
I have my windshield wipers on this morning. It's drizzling.
Yeah.
We have south wind. It's
unreal.
crazy.
Yeah.
You have a good text?
I thought so. Yeah, it was from John in Rancho San Diego. It's going to start us off with the text this morning. It says, "Hey, what a great show to hear from the tackle guru Doug this morning. Hey, Doug, I'm wondering about the gap in performance between Trinidad and Torium and Speedmaster and Talica. I really like saving money, but do you think that the performance outweighs the extra expense? Thanks for your advice."
So obviously, if money was no object, you would buy the Premier model, and the Premier model is a little more than double the cost. And I always say that the
Talica and Trinidad would be the Premier on those.
Yes. Yeah. And I always say that, there's good, better, best. So the one step down from those Premier reels are like 80% of the fishability, the quality. I mean, the drags are still smooth. The castability is great. The gearing is powerful, in every case. So it's more important when you're targeting the bigger fish to go with the Talica. It's got the cold forged frame, which doesn't mean anything unless you put it into the terms of what does that do for me? Well, there's no torquing of that frame, so you actually get more direct cranking power. And when you hook 100+ pound tuna, cranking power is super mega important. And even the castability, the features they put in there is slightly better. But when you start targeting school-sized fish, you can certainly get away with the Torium. You can certainly get away with the Speedmaster. There's definitely a place for that. And with that said, there have been numerous, hundreds of cows caught on a Speedmaster 20.
Sure.
So it can definitely be done. And so
what you're saying, the biggest difference is the cold forged frame. Doesn't doesn't have any twist or
tweak.
give versus a
Cast frame.
A cast frame.
Yeah, that's just one of the differences, and the Trinidad has that cold forged frame as well. But if you just went down every feature that you want in a reel, I want it to free spool great, so I can cast my bait or my jig. So
what is a cold forged frame? Is that they take one piece of metal and grind it right out of that piece of metal?
They take a cylinder of the material that they're going to use for the frame, and they put it in this $2 million machine that's literally the size of your office here, like a 10 by 10 by 10 machine, and they put it in one end, and then this beautiful Talica frame comes out the other end.
Okay.
What's going on inside? I have no idea.
It's one piece of metal.
Yes, but I've seen it,
versus cold forge is a cast frame where they pour into.
I'm not super up on all the manufacturing techniques, but there's you've got different materials, and I'm sure that even the aluminums are different qualities and different compositions.
When you have this extremely dense, push down piece of, solid piece of aluminum that you then, machine the frame out of the block. The other, you take, liquid metal, you pour it in, and it becomes and then they're both machined.
Right.
But that's the cast versus
the cast versus
There was a time when Shimano was super proud of telling all their, Hagani this and all these terms, and I just said, look, the Fisherman, there's some technical engineer types out there that want to hear all of that, but just tell them it free spools better. You have more cranking power. The gear ratios are correct. The lever slides smoothly, and you can get it past the detent into go to sunset easier. The handle is more comfortable. Yes, it's great that you have all these very high tech things that you're putting in the reel, but just tell them what it's going to do for them, and that's basically it. But like I say, the Speedmaster is 80% as fishable, and I'm just using my own perception of the percentage. Nobody's done a study on this, but it's darn near as good. But if you want,
and it can handle a big fish.
I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, do I buy a Lexus or a Camry?" They're kind of the same thing, but the Lexus is just a little Guccier.
Gotcha. All right, let's jump back on the phone.
You got it. How about we talk to John? John's calling us from Escondido this morning. Another John. Good morning, John. Welcome to the show.
Double Johns.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. It's always a great show. Had fun fishing with you, Pete, up in Hideaway Safaris, formerly Queen Charlotte.
Great having you and your wife, Cindy, there.
It was a blast, right? So my question, Doug, right, is can I order the Queen Charlotte Scampi that was made by MC Swim Baits by Corey, right? And get a shoebox of those for next year, or a month or 2 months from when we're going to go up there. Can I come into the shop and place an order for those? Because he used them all up. He wasn't very fair.
Yeah, Corey's really good about that, but he's takes pride in his product. He's a one-man band, and
yes, he does.
Pours all of his baits by hand.
Which let's stop for a second and think about how insane that is.
100% of
every
everything he
single one of those was poured one at a time by Corey himself.
And he pours the slug, and you sell the slug, which is very usable. But that one pour that he did for up there was a special pour that he poured for himself. He did leave me a couple, but kind of ran through those, so I'm begging him for something next
year. What I would
we'll
recommend is that sooner than later, bring one in, or if there are multiple colors, bring what you want into us. We will give them to Corey and tell him how many of those that you want, and then
he'll custom.
We'll see
order.
if he's got, sometimes in the off season he might have a little extra time, that kind of thing. But if he knows it's coming, he'll, I don't want to speak for him, but he'll likely carve out a little niche of time that he can do that for you.
Corey is accommodating to a fault. I mean, he just is. He's so proud of his baits, as he absolutely should be. They're the best in the world. They're the best in that space. There is no doubt. And I can't tell you how many times somebody came in and like, Corey is like, he's get his shirt pulled in every direction. I know because we're a big shirt puller, and like every retailer's the same thing. Hey man, we're at a 4-inch. Hey man, we're at a 5-inch. These baits are too good. The calico bass are biting. And then a single customer will come in and say like, hey man, this is my favorite bait in the world. It's my favorite calico bass lure, and I'm only down to my last 4. And like they hand you one of this like coveted thing. Like I only have 4 left, and I'm about to give you one of these. Is there any way Corey can make these for him? And I'm like, man, he's super busy, but let me send him a text, and I'll send Corey just a picture of it on my phone, and he's the same way every time. I can't leave that guy hanging. No problem. Tell him I'll make him 25, and they'll be there in 2 weeks. You know, he's the best, man. That. I love him. He's the man.
We get
no
long
doubt.
range fishermen that come in, and they'll see our pyramid of plastics, 600 bins full of plastics, and they'll buy some for a completely different fishery from wherever they came from. And if one works like crazy on their next long range trip, they say, like Rick's saying, can you please make these for me? It's not for calico bass. It's not for our normal local fish. It's some completely different thing. Those swim baits work, in a lot of areas. Anything that eats live bait, striped bass, whatever, those things are going to work.
Yeah. And the other thing too, you could ask him yourself in 2 weeks, because he'll be here 30th and 31st. He'll be co-hosting with Rick that weekend.
Oh, nice.
So you could ask him yourself there, John. See what goes on. And thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got catch reports, we got phone calls, we got text messages, and we got a whole lot with the tackle guru, Doug Kern. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Don't let the summer pass you by with powerful deals on new Yamaha outboards during Yamaha's Cruise into Summer sales event. From now until September 3rd, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of warranty protection. Looking for a lower horsepower? Yamaha's got you covered. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $300 in dealer credit. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends September 3rd, 2025. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty for select motors. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
When you're offshore fishing, the right gear makes all the difference, and that includes Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? The Fujinon Staboscope is the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon TechnoStabi TSX 1440 delivers rock-steady vision even in rough waters. Perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they will be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all their in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which one is right for you. The fishing season is here, and you know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars. So get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
Hello. This is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Hookup!
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Again, if you want to get through, 833-288-0973, or better yet, send us a text on that Let's Talk Hookup app. And as promised, it is time for the catch report. We're going to find out what's biting out there this morning. We got the man, Marco, standing by with our catch report, which today is sponsored by Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. It is the place to fill up your car, your truck, or your trailer boat with the lowest in gas and diesel prices. Do you know that Summit is also the place to get the lowest prices on ice and snacks for your trip? They've got over 40 snacks for just 89 cents, as well as sandwiches, frozen bait, and ice as well. Dude, ice there is like nowhere else. It's unbelievable
It's half the price
what those
or
guys
less.
do. Yeah. You get 100 pounds of ice with a 35-gallon fill. You get 25-pound bags for only $3.99. There's no limit to those. I love it. It's Summit Gasoline, free ice for our Let's Talk Hookup listeners, and always the lowest prices on your gas and your diesel at the San Diego Sports Arena. It's the only place, I look everywhere when I go. It's the only place I've seen sub $4 a gallon fuel. $3.99. I got it earlier this week.
89-cent snacks that'll blow you away, and the nicest people.
Oh,
you
they're
ever wanna
awesome,
meet.
man. Yeah, it's really cool. Summit Gasoline. It's a no-doubter on the sports arena in San Diego. Hey, we're going to find out what's going on the water. We got the man. He's back. Marcos from C4 Sport Fishing's on the line. What's up, Marcos?
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing today?
We've been
Great,
missing
buddy.
you.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's been a little busy down here. You know, it's like I know a lot of kids went back to school this week, but it's still good fishing. Lots of crowds coming out here, and I'm going to start off with the local fishing because we've had some great fishing. And start off with the twilight from last night. 2 yellowtail, 1 barracuda. They released 30 of them. Kept 16 calico bass, released 100 of them. 2 sand bass, 26 rockfish. It's that kind of typical local summer fishing that we think about there. And you know, I know we've talked about this before, but when that calico bass size limit went up, fishing didn't get worse. I mean, catching a 12-inch calico bass is just as fun now as it was then, but really pay attention to that. I mean, 100 calico bass released, those could have all been 12, 13-inch bass that put up a great fight. So don't discount that there. Yesterday on the half day, in the morning, 2 yellowtail, 13 calico bass. In the afternoon, 1 yellowtail, 47 calico bass. Twilight the night before, 2 yellowtail. It's just been some great local fishing. And these aren't all small fish either. There's some big ones. You know, Brian told me the other day on one of those trips they caught one and they lost about 9 or 10 of them. They just weren't prepared for that. So definitely check out those half days. Some great fishing right now. Cooled off a little bit weather-wise, but I mean, still, if it's, you know, want to get out on the boat, it's a great trip there. Full days fishing out the islands there. Still seeing a little occasional bluefin in there, some yellowtail, good bottom fishing with the calico bass and whitefish there. Offshore, a little more consistent. Still some great fishing in there, but again, catching those bluefin and yellowtail. Some really good trips mixed in there. Some tougher trips also, but that's kind of normal for the bluefin fishing. So check the website, seaforthlanding.com. Got our full schedule up there, those half days. We still got some twilights left, and we're going to be running those through the end of the month. End of September, as long as you guys are interested, as long as there's fishing, we're going to be running those Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. So we are extending those out a bit because it's been a great twilight season. Full days, overnights, and longer. Can book them all there. It's kind of hard to go wrong with any of these trips. So make your reservations. Get out there fishing.
Marcos, those twilight trips, as you know, so near and dear to my heart. That's what my dad and I did my whole life growing up. You know, when I grew up learning to fish at Seaforth, going on the twilight trips. And it is so cool watching what a great job those guys have been doing. I mean, it's like become a highlight trip. I mean, they're having great fishing. It seems just like night after night after night. It's really cool to watch and such a fun thing. I just remember so vividly be hot in East County and Dad would get off of work and I'd get off of school and we'd go down to Seaforth and go fishing. And I just love seeing the tradition staying alive. And it's great, man. Really, really good trips all the way across from offshore to inshore. Seaforth's firing on all cylinders right now.
Absolutely. And like you said, even if, you know, the fishing's not as stand as it is now, those twilight trips are a lot of fun. Come down in the evening, hop on the boat, you know, have a burger on the boat, catch a few calico bass. It's just a fun trip for sure.
Sign me up, man. Sounds good, Marcos. Well, a great report as always. We're glad to have not heard from you because it means how busy Seaforth has been, but we sure like getting our Marcos report a whole lot more than that. So great to have you back, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Talk to you then, guys.
See you, buddy.
All right, thanks. And that wraps up that part of our catch report today, sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book. It's so easy, and you can book your long-range trips and more. They have more team members. They get your fish out fast. You want same-day service, they get it out. Sometimes I can't believe when I drop off my same-day order, I get a call. It's like, already? It's done? It's ready? Yeah, that's Fisherman's Processing. That's the service there. It's all about service there. Check out their new facility on Taylor Street in Old Town, or check fishermansprocessing.com and make your reservations today. I've got a great text here from Colin in Chula Vista. Asks a question of the tackle guru Doug. Says, good morning, Doug, Pete, and Rick. Stoked to be listening this morning. A question: with a speed jigging being such a popular setup for bluefin now, a setup and being big expense for starting out, has Fisherman's Landing thought about adding jigging setups for rental lineup?
I don't know if it's mainstream enough.
For that,
it tends to be. This is a general statement and not across the board, but a lot of the people that are renting gear maybe are on their one trip per year, and they're not into some of these more advanced techniques. I'm not going to say that applies to 100% of the people. Certainly somebody may have come from out of town and didn't want to, put a giant rod tube and a bag of reels on the airplane. But for the most part, we've upped our rental gear game tenfold over the last 10 years to include 2-speed lever drags, CalStar rail rods, the top gear that any fisherman would buy that had an unlimited budget. And if you saw our rental room, it's amazing that we pull off what we pull off out of the small space that we have. But to try to put every single little fringe technique, I don't think that it would be. I just don't think it would be feasible to do. Number one, we have a huge parts bin for all of these rental reels, and then if you had, say you had 5 jigging reels, now you've got to go through and get a whole nother set of parts. So I just don't think it's going to be feasible. If it became mainstream enough where 15 out of 28 people on a boat were wanting to rent that type of an outfit. For instance, we just added a complete set of CalStar spinning reels with Shimano rods, spinning rods with Shimano spinning reels for the half-day boat.
CalStar rod, Shimano reel.
Yeah. Right. I took it from Pete getting tongue-tied in the beginning of the show.
Bait runners.
But so yeah, we've got bait runners and custom CalStar rods that we designed specifically for the half-day boat. They're a little longer than the normal 7-foot rod.
Nice.
Because the smaller baits, you've got to be able to cast that. This great calico fishing that we've had. So when something becomes mainstream, we do adapt to that. I just don't think that the vertical jigging is to that point yet for rental gear.
So now we talked a little bit about it last week. The new the Osea jigger, which is a very expensive reel.
Yep.
They have the new Torium jigger, right? Which you saw at ICAST, right? Is it available now?
I think that it is very close to, like, I have seen one come through the store that we've put line on.
Yeah, I think we bought. I ordered like 1 or 2 just to have in the shop, and I feel like I saw one, so I don't know if that was a.
I don't know if they've come and gone, or a lot of times when reels come out, they're like the first little wave comes out, and there's usually like a pretty limited stock before they kind of come really flooding through the door. So I'm going to say yes at a limited capacity. Not basically, that's my way of saying. I'm not
likely
positive.
It's going to be like half the price of the jigger.
But you got it.
That would be something that'd be more affordable.
Oh yeah,
than if you wanted to do that, and a perfectly good thing to do speed jigging.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
I mean, and just like other things, we have jigging rods in the shop that are, custom built, blanks that we build to our specs that can be in the multi-$100 range to factory jigging rods. We've got some blue whale rods that are lesser, and all the way across the board. And I know that there's some really cool jigging rods coming on the horizon from one of our most favorite rod people too. So there's going to be some really cool jigging stuff that happens in this off season.
Yes.
So if you wanted to make the investment, you can now, there's products available that you don't have to spend $1,000.
No,
to get
it's
a
like
jigging
anything.
setup.
If you're going to go, drop jigs at night for 200 pounders, you've got to get some pretty quality gear and some bigger reels that are going to be more expensive. But this daytime fishing, if you want to do that type of thing, I mean, you can get by with fairly inexpensive gear and lighter, like that Torium is a smaller, easier to handle reel. So it's like every other type of fishing, there's going to be something across the board in every category.
Yeah, gotcha. You have a quick text?
I thought so. It says, hey, good morning, guys. Question for Doug. With the change in bait and more fish being caught in daylight hours, can you provide some insight as to one of the most suggested setups, rod, reel, and hook size that we should be going on a 1 to 3 day trip? And that's from Dan and Pomona.
Yeah, I mean, with any of these trips, really variety is the key, and that's for a lot of the stuff. You've heard us talk about all these jigs. You need not a ton of each one. You don't lose them that frequently, but a little bit of a knife jig and a tungsten jig, and maybe some kind of a popper or a jerk bait. Stick bait. But as far as rods and reels go, you probably need a minimum of 3 outfits. And now that we've got, we've had some anchovies this year. We've had those very small 4-inch sardines. We've also had, the 11-inch bow hunk models. So you want to have a variety. Typically the lighter, you want to go longer on the rod. So 25, 30 pound outfit, a 40 to 50 pound outfit, you can go a little shorter. And then you've got to have your super heavy, 2-speed reel to drop a tungsten jig or other type of
there it is. Hey, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on Facebook and YouTube Live, as well as the Let's Talk Hookup app. We want to say a big thanks to our friends on the Fan, and we'll see you for another full hour on Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice.
45 years. That's how long we've been right here on Mission Bay, helping friends and family like you discover the joy of sailing, kayaking, and everything life on the water has to offer. I'm Logan from Bass Lane Kayaks, and if you ask Ron and Debbie Lane whether 45 years feels like a long time, they'll tell you time flies when you're having fun. You see, the Lanes have followed their passion for a life on the water, and they've made a living inviting others along for the ride. Over the years, the shop has grown and changed, and so have the employees and products inside. From selling catamarans in the 1970s as newlyweds, living in a VW bus in the store parking lot, to being the destination Hobie fishing kayak store they are today, working with their 2 sons and daughter. You might be looking for a new way to enjoy time on the water with your family, or maybe you're looking for a new way to stay active, enjoy nature, explore, and catch a spotted bay bass. Whatever your goals, come visit us in Dana Landing on Mission Bay, and we'll get you geared up and ready to enjoy life on the water.
This is Jeff Squires from One Cool Tuna and OCT Jigs. I've known Yusuf for over 15 years, and he is the expert when it comes to real estate. He has helped me sell my condo and helped me build a financial plan for my transition to the new area. He knows the answers to the hard questions that an average guy like myself doesn't understand. Yusuf not only is a fellow angler, but he's an amazing realtor that specializes in helping the angling community find their ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free, no obligation home evaluation now online from Yusuf by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get that report fast. Yusuf is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He has helped me and my friends and family find what they are looking for in their new home. He understands the real estate market like no other, so take it from me, Yusuf is the best when it comes to your real estate needs. Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
Hi, this is Tommy the Fishmonger from Tunaville Market and Grocery and the TV show Fishmonger. I've known Yusuf Husseini for over 20 years, and he's the expert when it comes to real estate. He's helped me with estate planning and multiple estate questions that the average guy like myself just doesn't understand. Yusuf's not only a fellow angler, but he's an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find their ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free, no obligation home evaluation now online from Yusuf by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get that report fast. Yusuf is a SoCal real estate guy to go to. He's helped me and many of my customers and family members to find what they are looking for in a home. He understands the real estate market like no other, so take it from Tommy the Fishmonger. Yusuf's the real deal when it comes to your real estate needs. Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and I'll see you at Tunaville Market and Grocery.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher Charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Power your boat with Norsk Lithium, the ultimate choice for marine adventures. Our batteries deliver unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power, packed with cutting-edge technology like Deep Sleep to eliminate phantom draw. Built with rugged BCI-compliant cases, they're designed to handle the toughest conditions on the water. Stay in control with the Norsk Guardian app. Monitor performance, track battery health, and unlock advanced features right from your phone. Charge with confidence using Evotech onboard and DC-to-DC chargers for fast, efficient, and hassle-free power management. Designed for maximum compatibility, these chargers keep your entire system running at peak performance, so you're always ready for the next trip. With a 10-plus 2-year non-prorated warranty, you can trust your batteries to perform for years to come. Our industry-leading warranty ensures you get the most out of your investment. With dedicated customer support if you ever need it. Upgrade your marine power today. Set up your custom system at NorskLithium.com or visit Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood. Norsk Lithium. No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered.
Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live. Pete Gray here along with Rock Cod Rick Maxa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to a pretty empty San Diego landings in Point Loma, but it's still busy because boats are turning around and Tomahawks out there, Royal Stars out there unloading lots of tuna and lots of good stuff out there. Doug Kern is here from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. We're talking fun stuff, toys for fishermen. That's tackle. And having a great show here with lots of good texts coming here this second hour.
Yeah, text message is the way to do it if you want to join us here in hour number 2. And the only way you can do that is through our Let's Talk Hookup app. Not only is it such an easy, fun, and great way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup, but it is your only way to send in your questions here in the second hour. We got the man, the tackle guru, is standing by. And if you want to send that text, just open up that Let's Talk Hookup app. You'll see the text the show option there. When you click that button to send your text, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number is all we need along with your question so that we can get a hold of you in case you win that great prize. And man, what a prize it is. Pete was showing them off for the first hour, doing it again right now.
Show them off, Doug.
It's a brand new Costa Reefton Pro. It's a gray frame with a gray silver mirror. Really, really nice pair of shades from Costa. And somebody is going to win that exact pair.
And the cool thing is it kind of fits everybody. It fits
Well, that's what I
people
was
with
just
big
going to
faces
say.
and small faces.
I
right?
have trouble finding a pair that fits.
Yeah.
That one
That
oddly fits me really well.
Yeah, I like those a lot.
And the Pro has all those cool things. It has the movable nose pieces and the place for you can put your
I love when they do that. So what Pete's talking about is at the very back of the earpiece, the part that hangs on your ear on those Reefton Pros. Exactly, there's a hole in it. So whether you choose the most common, style of keepers that just slide over the back, or you want something that's got a swivel, or if you lost them and you're on a boat, you can tie a San Diego knot in some 25-pound fluorocarbon and make your own sunglass holder. Yeah, that's a cool, very cool pair of shades. And one lucky caller or texter is going to be winning those at the end of today's show.
Yeah, for sure. Well, lots of good stuff going on, lots of good text, but time for the catch report.
Yeah, buddy. We got the private boater buddy standing by. Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge has got our fishdope.com report today. It's sponsored by Gamakatsu. If you like to fish with tuna and you're not using Gamakatsu hooks, you are missing bites. Their 720 heavy-duty assist hook is the one for your nighttime jigging. And also for bait fishing, nothing beats that Nautilus circle hook, especially right now when we're having the varies in bait where, on Tuesday, the bait might be small, and on Thursday, the bait might be huge. If you're in a small bait scenario, there's nothing like that Gamakatsu Nautilus circle hook. The 2, the 1, even the very small number 4, it's a thinner wire, but it's very strong. It helps. It's much easier to pin your bait on, and that light gauge wire really allows that bait to swim better. It is the circle hook if you're in a small bait scenario. There's no doubt about it.
Especially if you're going fishing bluefin at the Coronado Islands.
Huge.
Yes.
Oh my
It's a difference maker.
It's
It really is.
difference maker,
Hey, you can see it at your local tackle store or check out gamakatsu.com. We got the man standing by, Captain Mark Wish. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Ricky, Pete, Doug.
Good morning.
As always, my favorite show, Doug. And I gotta tell you guys, you started the show off with that evolution of the lures for bluefin, and that was just a crazy to listen to that. Because I lived it. Being in the tackle business. And we're watching these lures evolve as the fishery is evolving. And it was just incredible, the light speed at which everything moved right back for those years. That was just insane.
And comes and goes in waves, right?
Well, fishermen are innovative. And so they're going to adapt. And, you see that in Japan more than anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, they'll figure out a way to catch a fish.
Boy, that's for sure. And, like you were talking about those flat falls, the Captain's Concepts guys, Gavin was talking about those small flat falls that we haven't used hardly at all for years, even though they work great.
Yep.
And there's a whole new resurgence, which goes around, comes around. It's
pretty fun.
Anyway, so I don't know about this weather, man. It's hard to believe. I look out the window here, mid-August, and it's all wet. It's like light rain up here this morning. It's just
same here.
Crazy weather this year.
Well, the flags are blowing out of the south. I'm looking out the window and going straight from the Coronado Islands.
Doug. Oh, well, is what it is. But, fortunately, not too much wind out there on the outside, so it's a little offshore lumpy, but definitely fishable. So starting out there at San Nicolas, there was some very good sea bass fishing for the past few weeks there in between the weather. You got to get the weather out when you're way out there like that. But good mix of medium-sized sea bass, not so much really big ones, but some big halibuts and some nice yellowtails mixed in, and slower now, so we'll have to watch out there for a rebite. Same setup at Santa Barbara Island. There's quite a bit of squid around, actually on both sides there, front and back, and plenty of gamesters to go with it. Sea bass, yellows, halibuts, and of course those cods up there above the island, man, those cods are snapping. It's been really good red snapper fishing. Or at Catalina, still same mix of kelp line critters, nothing real exciting. There's a few nice yellows mixed in here and there. Just about all the structure spots on the front have some fish, and plenty of squid around the backside east. No shortage of bait, that's for sure, for this time of year. And guys, if I was going over there right now, I would make my bait there in that Silver Canyon sector there, and then relocate and set up on the east end proper to fish 7 to 8 fathoms from like underneath the light over towards Seal Rocks there and catch some of that nice 30 to 40 pound sea bass that's hanging around in there. And or at Clemente, the Pyramid Cove sector still holding some squid and yellows and sea bass on it. Nice ones. Big yellows hanging out there. Lost Point has got some bait, and same setup there, yellow sea bass, and up west off the dunes also. And then on the front side, really good calico bass fishing all up and down the front. Lots of big bass and some school-sized yellows mixed in. Offshore, we got several areas of bluefin around right now, including some new fish who looks like moving in down below the border. We haven't seen much down the Mexican waters for a bit, but we got some down around that 390. And I think it's kind of smaller grade bluefin, not so much the real big boys, but nice mix of bluefin and yellow on the kelps there. So that's pretty interesting. Out toward the 381 out off the back of Clemente, there's another area of fish, but a little bit more weather to deal with. And then the main zone has been that Osborne 499 snail sector up there. Lots of foamers. It's biting in the afternoon. It comes up good in the afternoon. There's a little bite in the morning, but the guys that stay till 4 o'clock are the guys that really get them. And then yesterday, the Fish Dope Plain, they saw a whole bunch of new fish. If you were to draw a line from the west end of Clemente to the west end of Catalina, they're kind of just west of that line, a little closer to Clemente. And I think that's fished, last weekend we were fishing around the 289 there. We saw quite a lot of that really nice sized fish jumping around. They didn't want to bite all that good, but they were definitely there. And it looks like that stuff has moved. So I'm guessing that stuff that's up there by that line I just described is probably moving fish. I don't know if it's going to be there long, but it's heading up toward that Snail 499 area. Maybe it'll reload up there. So we got a lot going on offshore, guys. It's definitely time to go fishing.
Yeah, and of course, guys from fishdope.com, they have the info. $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space. Hookup Now, your $30 code to keep informed of what's going on when you can't hear Mark Wish on Saturday morning on Let's Talk Hookup. You have it 724 on fishdope.com. And Mark, I'm going to play this soundbite again because it's back in the era of you, because you've been with us for it'll be celebrating our 34th anniversary here in a couple of weeks.
That's hard to believe.
You've been around here for a long time, so I'm going to play it again.
Hi, this is Bill Poole of XL Sport Fishing. You're listening to Southern California's best fishing show, Let's Talk Hookup on Extra Sports 690.
And you were here when all that was going on. You were here.
Isn't that great to hear him? I mean, such a legend, so much history there. Oh my!
So
God.
I got to tell the story of how I had that.
It's crazy.
So Ingrid Poole is putting together a documentary film about the history of San Diego sport fishing, and her grandson is working for her, and he's back in like somewhere east of the Rockies. What I call it all East Coast. Once it goes past east of the Rockies is East Coast. But anyway, he said, "Do you have any sound bites from Bill Poole?" And the only one I could find was this old 8-track cart that we used to use back in the 690 days with that soundbite on it. So I said, here's what I have. I'm going to mail it to you, but the only caveat is send me the digital if you get it. And he sent it to me.
That's so rad.
Found it. He found a way to do it, so he sent it to me. So I had to play it. I have it on my Roadcaster here, so we can just play it anytime.
I love it.
Hear the good old school voice of Bill Poole.
That's awesome. Okay, Coach, I got a last question for Doug.
Okay.
So you're close with CalStar. Thank God they're just doing all this cool stuff now. What do you think the possibility of getting a GG series? They have that wonderful 270 8-foot heavy, but just a regular 270 8-foot for the smaller bait that we have around now.
Chris Yamada took over from Pat, and there couldn't have been a better choice culturally to continue the legacy of CalStar and Leon and Pat. They still have their same crew back there building the rods. The quality has been immaculate. But the thing that has definitely changed is the innovation. And I know everybody has seen all these new jig sticks in the GG series and all the other series, 9.5 feet and using Fuji guides, just things that we've kind of been wanting for a while. And I think the GG series is the sweet spot to expand because it had a mismatch of, maybe 10 or a dozen rods at the most, and there were holes in between everything. So, we've put our 2 cents in. I'm sure the other dealers have as well. Those people that are on the front line and get the requests from the customers. And 7.5 foot is a very useful length. Certainly, the 800 XLH is your quintessential 20-pound anchovy rod. And if you could get, like you say, a 270 in the GG series, it would do exactly the same thing. It'd be the perfect 20-pound rod. You're not going to fling your bait off. It's got 70% fiberglass in that rod, a little bit of graphite for some pulling power and so forth. So, I'm sure Chris is listening or will listen on the app. And that's a great suggestion. I know there are other companies, and I won't name names, that are all looking hard at this anchovy that's all of a sudden, become much more massive amount of anchovies. And it's going to change everything because everything's gone to 2-speed, lever drag, heavy gear. And the second that anchovies become the primary bait for more than a month, it's going to be panic and chaos and pandemonium. And a 270 GG would be the perfect rod for that.
So 3 weeks from today, Mark, Chris Yamada and John will be here in the studio, and you can ask him yourself. How's that sound?
That's great. You know,
That's September
I need to talk to
6th.
him about some other stuff anyway. So yeah, we'll put the pressure on him.
Okay, yeah.
They sure seem up to the task, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
they're
so
kicking
interactive.
out
Yeah,
the
John,
coolest.
Chris are just killing it.
Yeah, they really are, man.
They really are.
You know,
That new GG that we were like fawning over. I mean, we're sold out. We got them. We got them in. We sold them, and they're awesome.
Wow.
I love it. They hit the mark so dead on with that thing. It's great. The new 73 XH and double XH.
Wow. Cool.
We talked about the Shimano Talica versus Speedmaster. You know, they've got the Graphiter and the GG. It's the same thing. You can buy a high quality American made CalStar rod in that GG series for, you know, a pretty significant amount less money and still have an A+ fishing tool in your hand.
There you go. Hey, Mark, thanks a lot for the call and the report, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Okay, you got it. We'll have a good one for you next week. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Mark.
Take care, Mark.
Appreciate that. I believe we have Rosie Flowers from Cedro Sport Fishing on the line. Good morning, Rosie. Okay, maybe we don't know. Who is on the hotline there?
Anybody home out there?
Anybody home on the hotline?
On this line?
Yes, this line. Who is this?
Hey, Pete, good morning. This is Bill Kavanaugh.
Hey!
Oh, cool, Bill.
Hey, Bill. We don't have a screener on this particular line, and so we don't know who's there unless it shows up on the call.
It's a mystery caller
that sneaks
Yeah.
through. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill.
Well, that's awesome. Good morning. Good to hear from you. Yeah, I tuned in this morning and I saw that Doug was on the show. I'm like, I got to call in and tell a story.
Oh,
okay, go.
I hope it's not too bad.
So this is my Fisherman's Landing tackle story. So, I'm currently managing and captaining a 92-foot Viking, which is a pretty awesome experience, to say the least. It's an impressive piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So we spent some time getting this thing, you know, West Coast standards and renovating and upgrading to where we wanted. And we were getting ready to leave on our first Mag Bay trip of the new boat last November. And I got all my provisions done and I'm all ready to go. We're going down to San Diego to get fuel. And I realized I'd never made the gas that I wanted to make. We had gas on board, but they weren't ideal. So I'm like, man, I just really don't want to deal with the gas. So I called up Rick. I'm like, Rick, what gas do you have in store right now? He's like, we got a couple different options. I'm like, can you send me a couple pictures? He sent me some pictures. I picked out the gas that I wanted, a couple AFCO gas. I added some tackle onto my list. I said, Rick, we're going to get fuel, then we're going to go. I'm going to send my deckhand. Can you have it ready for me? He's like, yeah, no problem. So I get to Pearson's fuel dock. I'm putting fuel on board for this. We were gone for, I think, 28 days. So get our fuel. Before I was done with fuel, my deckhand comes back with beautiful AFCO gas, the tackle that I asked for, and it was done deal, and we're off on our Mag Bay trip. And I was just super pumped because that was exemplary customer service, and they always have good knowledge of what's going on the fishing scene. And I just felt like I needed to share that story with you guys.
That's awesome.
Awesome, Bill.
Yeah, AFCO makes some pretty sensational equipment for sure.
They do, and they
Best
keep
gaps in the world.
innovating. I mean, they've come out with this new gaff, and I don't even know how to describe it, but I mean, it's it's graphite, it's lighter, it's
Woody, you for real need to scope this out. Like, so they just came out with a brand new product. It's a full true carbon fiber shaft, 8-foot, 3-inch hook gaff.
Wow.
You could at full extension hold that gaff between two fingers and hold it out. I mean, it weighs nothing. Like the entire 8-foot shaft weighs less than the hook does.
Really?
It's so
And they're
so
available
sick.
now?
Yeah, we got them in the store.
and
right,
it
right
looks
this second.
very yachty.
It's
sick.
It looks
yeah.
so good.
Yeah, it's worthy of being
So
on a 92-foot Viking.
Me already, Rick?
It's dude. I'm telling you, it is. It is to your guys' standards. It's the bomb.
I'm going to have to get those when we're on our way down this year.
We'll meet you at the fuel dock.
Well, great to hear from you, Bill, and thanks for sharing a good story with us. And glad you're out there catching fish on that beautiful rig.
Yeah. We made our first bluefin trip a couple weeks ago and caught a 207 pounder.
Nice.
Sweet. What'd you catch it on?
That was on a knife jig. It was in the dark.
In the dark on the knife
So
jig.
rad.
Pretty standard.
What size knife jig?
What was it? Let me see here. I think it was the SK jig. That's my favorite. I don't know. I just have a
You run the
spot in
boat.
my heart for that jig.
Yeah.
That SK jig, that 300-gram SK jig. It's a tried and true.
It gets bites,
Yeah,
man, no doubt.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, great to hear from
Yeah,
you, Bill.
Bill.
Keep up the good work, and hope call in. Now we'll know it's you.
Right. Okay. Hey, thanks for your time. You guys have
All
a
right.
great morning.
See you, buddy.
Bill.
That was
Appreciate
fun.
that very much.
Well, that's going to wrap up our catch report there. Great times, lots of fun. Again, if you want to join us this morning, send us a text on that Let's Talk Hookup app. Make sure you include that contact info as well.
Yeah, for sure. And you have a great text,
I
huh?
definitely do. It says, good morning, guys. What a great show. Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop is run so smooth. In today's world, it's so hard to find good workers. Doug, if you could speak to the younger generation who might be on the verge of joining today's workforce and talk a little bit about what you look for when you're hiring a younger gentleman to be behind the counter. That's all from Rory in Lakeside.
Yep. We definitely go through some specific things. The first thing is they have to just be obsessed with fishing, grew up fishing, know a lot about Southern California fishing. And, it just has morphed into quite a few of the young people that have gone to Point Loma High School. We've got some that came from, Coronado, North Coronado Island. Some of these around the Bay kids that grew up. We've hired kids in their, 14, 15, 16-year-old bracket. And then, they'll work through their high school career. And then if they go to college, they'll come back every summer. And I mean, we've had some of these people that have gone on to become doctors and entrepreneurs and worked, in high-level government positions. And I mean, these are very bright people. And they tend to have, we need somebody that has good communication skills and good personalities. And so we ask very specific questions in our interview process. But we have an entire page on our interview process and our employment application that says, check any of these places that you've ever fished at least one time. And it goes right down the list: half day, bay, private boat, party boat, long range, Baja, Catalina, all of our local areas. And I turn to that page first. And if all the boxes are checked, okay, I keep this application. Then we do the whole interview process and find out what they're all about and what their availability is and what their personality is like. And we have been so amazingly blessed with some of the best. I'm in awe of how good some of these guys are. And they go on to know things that, are beyond my scope. They're so up, obviously all these kids are on their phone all the time on the internet, and they find this stuff from Japan and these techniques. And, we've got, 7 full-time year-round people, and then we get up to about 18 or 20 during the summer. And the information that comes out of these kids' heads is just amazing. And you just see a customer come in the shop and they just instantly engage. And I hear the conversations that they have, and they're so intelligent and so spot on with their recommendations. And the ethics is another huge part of it. We don't sell people things for profit and for money. The profit and the money will come out of taking good care of our customers. That's a byproduct.
You're not going to sell them something that they don't need.
No, I mean, that's our reputation, and we stress that.
I get so proud when I hear our kids sometimes talking people out of things. It's just like, it makes me really proud because it's exactly that. You can,
it's like, hey, you don't need.
You could take advantage of a situation one time and probably sell a guy a whole bunch of stuff and put a bunch of money in the register once, or you could get him exactly what he needs and save him money one time, and you'll have that customer for life. And I'm really, really proud of our group right now.
And I might say too, Doug, you've proven yourself to bring up kids from the start there. Look at who's sitting right here, Rock Cod Rick.
Right?
How old were you when you started at Fisherman's Landing Tackle?
15, because I couldn't drive. My parents had to drive me,
drive you in
and
there.
it was my
like
height.
You started here at 14, and they started there at 15. And now you're a co-owner, manager,
Yes.
along with Brandon Bono. How long has Brandon Bono been there?
Well, Brandon's been there, I believe, around 15 years, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. And we got ourselves in a little pickle in the summer where I had to let somebody go, and it was super busy. And so we had one past employee that was kind of saying he would be willing to come back, and Brandon so those were the two people. So I vetted, interviewed, and I'm struggling to make this decision. And I kind of just looked down to get my thoughts together, and on Brandon's ankle there was a tattoo of a yellowfin tuna.
Yeah.
Okay, you're hired.
Brandon is, I call him the world's greatest fisherman.
Yes.
He is an
Oh my
amazing
God.
fisherman. Yeah, and he fishes all the time, still to this day. And to make both Rick and he partners, what a brilliant move! It's that's kind of the Bill Poole move, right? And the
It's
Frank Lopresti
absolutely
move, right?
that move where deserving people coming up through the ranks, because Frank is a partner in that tackle store. I'm a partner, and we're not necessarily going to be around forever.
Right.
And so
They have a vested interest.
We want the shop to perpetuate into the future.
Yeah.
And so these are the guys that are going to make that happen. It's no different than these boats out here. It's Bill Poole and then Pat Kavanaugh, and right on up the line.
Yeah.
And Randy.
You couldn't pick two better guys too, because they're
Same,
just they're amazing humans, and they're incredible tackle people.
Yes.
And what better guys to have you follow suit.
Yep.
Right?
No doubt.
Yeah, pretty fantastic. And that way they're going to be there, right?
I don't know about Brandon.
Well, Brandon's
He's always
got
out
interest,
fishing.
right?
He'll be fishing somewhere.
Yeah.
But he'll come back with good info.
Yeah, he will.
Hey, Brian and Carlsbad, we love talking about kids, like the last one. So love talking about kids and taking kids fishing. Brian in Carlsbad has a great one. He said, I have 3 kids that have kept me off the water for the last 2 years. Fingers crossed, my son just turned 7 and may become my excuse to get out again. All that said, I'm not familiar with the jigging rod reel. What are these? And can you give me a couple of examples of what I should purchase? Most of my reels are Shimano's and Accurates. I'll be listening all morning. Thanks.
Yep. So if you're talking about jigging, a 7-year-old, the way a young person like that needs to learn how to fish is you need to pick days where the weather is gorgeous. That there's a high probability that the fish are going to be biting. It doesn't matter what they are, but you want to get bites, and then you help them, but you don't fish necessarily for yourself. Everything is about them and how great it is when they catch a little rockfish, a calico bass, even freshwater fish. People start in, if that's an accessible way for you to go fishing. So I'm not sure that, vertical jigging, if that's what you're talking about, and I think it is necessarily a method that needs to be employed. You can have any rod and reel and drop down 100 feet and catch a tree fish or a red or whatever. Same with the calico bass. You want to use gear that is not adult gear. You want something lightweight. I used to custom build my kids when they were young, and shorter rear grips, lighter actions that they could catch. We did a lot of bay fishing, and the bay is a great place to take your kids fishing. You can rent boats if you have your own boat, and make sure that you get the best possible information. We can always dial you in on what's going on in the bay, and if they get 7-year-old might get a little bored after a while, don't force them to stay out there. When they're done, go in, stop at Pizza Nova and get a little pepperoni pizza. Make it a fun experience in their early years, and then you can get into more advanced techniques. They can go out and not catch anything for a while, but they know that fishing is fun. But if you take them out, when the weather's not good and you're fishing for yourself, and here, kid, you try to catch one. I see that on the boats all the time. They're going to lose interest. At 7 years old, depending on the individual kid, you can go on the half-day boats. They can throw sardines up to the seagulls. They can get, they're going to just eat burgers and candy and sodas. And I mean, just let them just have a great time that way. And then hopefully they'll catch, calico bass or whatever's biting.
I mean, you heard Marcos at Seaforth talking about how good that half day in the twilight fishing is.
Right.
Take them out on a half
Perfect.
day, right?
Yeah. But I took
then don't worry about that jigging reel until he's just like Rock
turns
Cod
into
Rick
Brandon.
was at 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Both my daughters went when they were 5 on the Seaforth.
Yeah.
And my grandson started when he was 6 going on the Dolphin. And just make sure that, the weather's going to be good and really fill them up with all the junk food you can.
Every time Wyatt catches a fish, like we make sure it's the biggest deal.
Oh
in
my
the
God.
world.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
And
It's
he's
double
into
high five.
it.
He loves it. I mean, it's his favorite thing in the world. And exactly like Doug said, as soon as we've got a half a dozen spotties and then we caught a couple of croakers, then it's, we run up to Dana and we get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and he runs on the grass and we bring the dog. It's just like, it's his favorite thing in the world.
And he's 3.5, right?
Yeah.
So
Loves it. I mean, loves
early.
it.
Imagine what he's going to be like when he's 7.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
He has to go to sleep with his fish pole sometimes.
Oh,
He's just like, he's so into it.
Watch
It's like,
out.
it's my favorite thing in the world. It's really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, you having a good text?
I thought so. Yeah. It says, good morning, Pete, Rick, and Doug. Doug, can you please compare and contrast Max Quattro versus original Power Pro? And then also the Super 8 Slick. Thanks for everything. Cheer. That's from Cheer.
Okay. Cheer.
Cheer and Cardiff.
Cardiff. Thank you. That's what I was trying to get at.
So all these line companies for decades have used different marketing techniques to sell their line. And they'd always say, oh, our 40-pound test is the thinnest diameter you can buy. But in reality, it was the same as the next company's 30-pound. And then, the next company would say, our 30-pound is the strongest 30-pound you can get. Well, that's because it was fatter. And so when Shimano came out with Max Quattro, it sounded like the same old song. They said, oh, we've got Spectra that, 65 or has the diameter of 50-pound. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go again. It's just 50-pound that they're putting a 65-pound label on. Yes, technically it breaks tensile strength at 65 pounds, but most lines break over test. Well, I did talk to several people at Shimano, and they assured me that they had come up with a method to produce a line that actually was as strong tensile strength and abrasion resistance and all the characteristics. So if you put 80-pound Max Quattro on your 500 Tranks, you get more line because it's thinner diameter. It's basically the diameter of 65, but it actually is 80-pound test in every way. It's got the tensile strength, it's got the abrasion resistance, and so
I love Max Quattro.
That's become a great line.
Stuff.
It actually casts really nice, which a lot of the Spectras don't. And then they hit the home run in this fishery. Shimano's pretty innovative. And they recognize that this deep fishing that we're doing, we used to just put, take a Sharpie out and every 100 feet make a black mark. It was a pain in the neck and take forever, and we'd have to charge the customers too much for our time. And so they came out with the metered line that has 5 colors, and each color is 100 feet in length. So when you're dropping down your tungsten jig or your SK jig or whatever you're fishing, you know exactly how deep you're going. So the regular Spectras, they're all fine. I mean, obviously Power Pro is a mainstay in the industry, and so their solid Power Pro original line is as good as it ever was, and it's going to be a little cheaper. So if you don't need that thinner diameter for whatever your fishing is, that's a good way to go. We did carry the Super Slick, pretty early on in the game, and it was a pretty good spinning reel line. But it just seems to have lost some of its popularity for our particular type of fishing. So I have a feeling that in other areas, it's probably a more popular line. But I would say in Southern California, big game fishing, I would stick with Max Quattro.
Now they have a new one, Max Ocho or something like that, right? That they're coming out with?
And that's the 8 carrier line. And I'm not really familiar with it. So much. Maybe you've got more information than I do.
Yeah, it's coming out, but I don't know. I haven't seen it or heard about it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I was at the ICAST show and
They
I
didn't
went
have anything?
through the whole tour with
Okay,
Matt,
well,
our rep, and
maybe
that wasn't mentioned. So
Okay.
it could be for another fishery.
Okay.
It could be something
Maybe I
that's
was
not out
misguided.
yet.
Yeah, all
Maybe you
right.
had a dream and you thought it was reality.
Maybe that could be. Yeah. But hey, if they hard to believe they can improve on Talica. They did. Hard to improve.
Well, they did.
Hard to believe they can improve on Max Quattro. We'll see.
Yeah, totally.
We'll just see. Hey, who do we have on the hotline? Good morning. Who's on hold
Hey,
there?
good morning, you guys. You get me here?
Yeah, is that JJ?
Is this JJ?
Hey, guys. It's been a little while.
JJ Garrettson.
good to hear
What's
from you,
going
bro.
on?
If we hear you yell jig strike, we'll know where you went.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I am definitely actively working right now. I got a pair of binoculars against my face right next to the phone. We're chasing bird schools. We're fishing albacore. And it's been pretty good.
How fun.
Already this morning, we're having a pretty good day. So
Nice.
You off the San Diego coast here catching albacore?
You on the dumping grounds? Are you at the 60? Where
we're
you
just
at?
Outside. We're just outside the 425.
Yeah. Actually, you're where are you actually?
We're fishing off of Central Oregon right now.
That's so cool.
And yeah, it is cool. And there's pretty good sign of fish this year. And we see fish from Northern California all the way to Canada and anywhere from 20 miles offshore to all the way out to the EEZ. So pretty good sign of albacore around this year.
Some of the private boat guys are, saying 40 and 50 fish, and one of our guys was in yesterday. His buddy in a week caught 200. He says
that's crazy. Is it
jig? It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing how many how many private boaters and skiffs are up here and go out fishing for albacore. I mean, I think us from Southern California, we always think, oh man, Oregon, Washington, Canada, terrible weather and deadliest catch stuff. But man, you would be surprised how many trailer boaters come out here and do pretty well on albacore fishing. They don't got to go far.
Is it jig fishing or bait fishing, or how are you guys catching them? It sounds like you guys are off to a heck of a season.
Yeah, we just started bait fishing here on a couple of ago. We had been jig fishing, and seasons always start jig fishing, and the fish are just showing up and they're kind of spread out, and jig fishing is the most effective way to put a day together because you're moving and you're kind of covering ground but later on in the season, usually, all the bait signs starts to ball up and the fish will tend to school up on the bait, and that's when we can get them on the poles and the bait. And that's when we really do well. We put some numbers together.
Nice.
And we're starting to see that developing right now.
That's cool.
That is so cool. So JJ, now what do you do with all this albacore you're catching?
Let's sell it. Pretty basic.
Yeah, well, Pete, we stop when we got limits,
Yeah, I don't think so. But now you've got a new can product. I was trying to lead you into that, right?
I know. Yes, we do, and that's Jessica's baby, and it's Craft Fish Company, and so we're taking a percentage of our albacore, kind of the picking and choosing the premium of every catch, and we're canning it. We take it to a local artisanal cannery here in the Pacific Northwest, and they're canning it for us, and they do an awesome job. And then Jessica takes the cans and Art sees them up, and she's selling them. It's kind of boutiquey, and she's got a website, and she's on Instagram and Facebook, and it's kind of cool. It's local, it's sustainable, it's wild, and we see tinned fish, kind of gaining popularity. So we thought, you know what, man, we are the source of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're commercial fishermen, so we catch fish and we sell it, and the people we sell it to just can it and sell it to somebody else. So anyway, we thought it'd be kind of fun to take those people out of the of the mix and sell it ourselves and can it ourselves and catch it ourselves, and it's very cool.
It's so cool that you can get a can of premium fish. It was hand selected by you, but it was caught by a friend of ours who we've all been fishing with you, and we know that it's coming from a family and a cool source, and the whole thing. And it is just, I talked about it a couple weeks ago. It is as premium gets. It's not like buying a can of bumblebee from somewhere. It's like, that's a fish that JJ caught, and they picked the ones that are going to those, Craft Fish Co. cans. And when you open it, you're opening like a piece of albacore. Like you see the loin that was put into there. It's awesome. And I love the story, and we're really into it, JJ.
That's great, you guys. Thanks so much. And thanks so much for your support. It's cool. It's great for us and all our friends, and you guys and all of our friends have been telling us for years, hey, put this out there. Let's put this out there. So we're putting it out there on a small scale, and it's boutique-y, and it's not available in stores. It's just from us, and it's got a little personal touch to it. So yeah.
So how do we get it, JJ?
Well, you gotta go on craftfishco.com.
Craftfishco.com.
That's correct.
And I did it myself too. It's crazy easy. It's one of those like really good online things. The second you purchase, you get an email back and you get your tracking info and all these. It's like, it was just whoever, obviously it sounds like Jessica. Well, clearly if it's running smooth, it's gotta be her, not Jade. But it was just like every single thing was just perfect, and it showed up the next day and it was killer. And yeah, I love it, man. I'm really happy, and I hope it becomes a very successful thing for you guys.
Yeah, that's great. You guys, thank you very much.
Hey, I'm just curious. One last thing, JJ. I saw one picture yesterday. Guy showed me a picture of about a 30-pound albacore. Is that just a rare fish, or are you getting the chunkers up there?
The fish we're catching are like 14-pound average.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They're perfect size.
Yeah.
But we do see those bigger ones mixed in.
Yeah, I figured that was a one-off.
No, so it's funny, we generally see the bigger fish closer to the beach for some reason. And so the skiff guys will catch more of those big ones than we will. It's almost like they're in the colder water before the warm water transition. When you're coming off the beach, you get those bigger fish. So sometimes when we're fishing in there and close to the beach, like on the first day of a trip or something, we're on our way out, we get those big ones.
I got you.
But generally the fish that we're getting offshore are school size. They're like 13 to 16 pounds.
Sweet.
That's rad.
Well, JJ Garrison calling us live from the Pacific Northwest waters aboard the Pikey.
How about a live albacore?
Yeah,
report?
live albacore. It's been a while since we had last time you had that. JJ, again, if you want to get some of JJ's fish, craftfishco.com. Order it online, and we'll got to do that, JJ. And please check it back in with us, please, again.
Give us another Albie report. That's pretty cool.
For sure. All right. I will for sure. You guys, maybe I'll come visit you on the show in the wintertime when we're home.
I hope so.
Be fun, Jay.
And if you want to meet JJ's son, he works in the tackle shop.
Oh, yeah,
Go see Dylan.
Dylan crushes.
Guys, hey, Dylan's such an awesome guy, and he's so stoked working at the Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop. And you guys take good care of your people, and I'm so glad that he's become part of your team over there. And thank you, Doug. Thanks, you guys.
He's a good man.
Part of our family, man.
Yeah.
He is fam. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Thanks, JJ. Appreciate it. Thanks. Keep getting them, okay? Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including finding out what's going on in the East Cape. We got Chris Morris standing by. We're going to be finding out all kinds of great fishing. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and Facebook and YouTube Live.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is on at your San Diego County Ford dealers. It's a great time to take a test drive to see what Ford's award-winning lineup of trucks and SUVs has to offer. You'll discover California's best-selling truck brand, Ford F-Series, equipped for anything your demanding job needs or the family vacation you're taking. Check out the Bronco family featuring the iconic Ford Bronco or the versatile Ford Bronco Sport. Both have muscle, tech, and durability needed to go anywhere. Whether it's gas, hybrid, or all-electric, visit your local dealership to find the perfect Ford for you during the Ford Summer Sales Event. The Ford Summer Sales Event is on at your San Diego County Ford dealers. It's a great time to take a test drive to see what Ford's award-winning lineup of trucks and SUVs has to offer. Visit your local San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance to staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at afco.com.
Time to talk about great gear from Shimano. We've got to talk about the new Talica 40 and 50. Unbelievable that they did this, but you had to know they were going to come out with something better, right?
Yep, they've been working that direction. You know, they came out with the 16 and the 12A, which was an upgrade. Then they did the 20 and the 25. It was only a matter of time before they did the 50, but the 40 was the surprise.
Yeah.
And so we got to see that for the first time at ICAST, and we're kind of wondering, you know, is this going to be some super skinny reel? You know, what's it going to look like? Well, they took the 50, widened it out a little bit, and took the 50 and narrowed it out a little bit. Now you got your 50 and your 40.
They just made it perfect.
And it's got so many different uses that you can stand there at the rail and hold it on up to catching small blue marlin and you know, nice game fish like that down at the Cape.
Check it out at your local Shimano dealer, the Talica 40 and 50.
This is Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star. In 1983, a group of intrepid anglers envisioned crafting the best sunglasses on the water. It's true now as it was then. Costa's performance frames excel in the toughest of elements. These styles are packed with functional features that create a competitive advantage for any adventure on the water. From the lake to offshore, Costa's Performance Collection has a legacy of helping anglers stay on the water longer. Learn more at costadelmar.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, Elgato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning with the tackle guru himself, Doug Kern. Lots of fun. And hey, as promised, it's time to find out what's going on in the East Cape. We got the man, Chris, standing by with Smokey's Curing Company in Cantina with our Baja report. What's up, Chris?
Pedro, Rick, Doug, buenos dias, guys.
Buenos dias. How are you? How's everything down in the East Cape?
Everything's great, man. Just great. We're rolling right along, and hey, great show. Listen to you guys. The tackle knowledge in that room sitting there between Doug, Rick, and of course Pedro is second to none. So interesting.
Thanks, man.
Morning,
I don't
buddy.
know anything. I'm just listening to these guys.
Well, hey, as well as I.
That's cool. So what's going on down there?
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. It's getting better and better down here. You know, the season's been a little bit slow after, say, mid-June, but we're getting more and more tuna in. For the first part of the week, it was pretty much kind of about like maybe 40, 45 miles out between Frailes to the south and, say, Pescadero to the north. So they're having to work a little extra hard to get them out there. Nothing too big, but, I mean, still getting tuna. And then the last couple of days, you know, like 15 miles off. So that's really cool. And, you know, also for the most part, they're like, you know, maybe like 20 pounds, but there were some bigger ones, maybe 70 for a couple days, like really just right there in the bay off Los Frailes, like a mile offshore, maybe some 70s, kind of close to the park there at Pumo, maybe a little too close for comfort, but they were there right off Frailes. Another good thing is that we started seeing some more Dorado, which better late than never. You know, it's been a really, really slow Dorado year. But we're getting more and more of those, like a lot of them in the, say, 10 to 20 pound range, but quite a few, several in the 45-pound range. So, and they're kind of spread out all over. No real spot, they're Pescadero, Punta Colorado. So anyway, but again, it's a bright spot. We're seeing more and more of those. A lot of sailfish this past week, and of course, still good numbers of blue marlin and as well as striped marlin, but sailfish galore. Man, again, the roosterfish bite, it just continues to impress, right? As I say every week, I sound like a broken record, but right there in the bay between, say, Lighthouse, Punta Arena, and Cabo Pulmo, right there in the little bay there, Las Barracas, and El Rincon, lots of action there. And, bait-wise, we've got sardinas, we've got the green jacks, which are really good for the roosters, and then some ballyhoo and some caballitos. But all in all, man, we're picking up, and it's it's getting better and better. So that's where we're at.
Love it.
Sounds good. How's everything at the smokehouse?
We're rolling right along. Like I said, this is actually the slowest time of year in both the restaurant as well as the smokehouse, only because the town's kind of thinning out from the locals. People kind of go where they're from and get out of the heat and the hurricane season. And then, as well as the fishermen, they'd rather wait and not be here during hurricane season, but still a good number of boats going out. So we're down to one shift at Smokies. We open at 3 instead of 11, but from 3 on, we're pretty busy. And, the anglers are coming in from the hotels and everything. So yeah, this is just normal protocol, nothing new, but, from 3 o'clock on, we're busy, and we just introduced a new menu yesterday. So everything's good, man. Everything's good.
And Vaquera's getting out, and the best boat in the East Cape, Vaquera, is getting out.
Yeah, Vaquera's fishing today. We got a charter today. Been doing pretty well. I don't know. I think it's a one of those charters today. They're out of the. They're staying out at the Costa Palmas. And I think they wanted to fish for like a half day and then maybe go out snorkeling out in maybe somewhere out there up front of Lake or something. So yeah, it's whatever they want to do, we're going to do it. So yeah, we'll see what the fish report is later from Diego.
That sounds great. Of course, Smokey's Curing Company and Cantina. Chris, great job as always. Appreciate the information, and we'll talk to you next Saturday. How do we get a hold of you if we want to book Vaquera or get more information on fish processing or coming to Smokey's?
Look me up at vaquerasportfishing.com. You can call me at 858-231-1358, or you can get a hold of me at Baja Smoked Dog with 2 G's at gmail.com.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. We'll talk to you next Saturday.
Take care, guys.
All right.
See you, Chris.
Hey, while we're talking about bringing home fish from the East Cape or whatever, I got a really interesting email during the week, and I think it was Dan. I forget what the listener's name, but thank you very much. Sorry for that. I didn't write down, but he mentioned that his freezer went out and he lost all his fish. He just had a whole bunch of fresh Fisherman's processing, several $100s worth of processing.
Yeah, his
and
years worth of protein.
Yeah, exactly. And I started thinking, I have a chest freezer that's probably 20 years old in my garage.
You get to Costco.
Still works. Guess what's getting delivered today from Costco? A new chest freezer. After hearing that, I just came back with 90 pounds of Haida Gwaii fish, and I have a whole bunch of other great fish in there, and even some nature-fed beef from Yosef and stuff. I got a new freezer right away because I was thinking it's just a matter of time. If you have a freezer that's 10 years old or better, what happens?
Cheap investment, honestly.
You go into the garage one day and it's like, oh no,
yeah, totally.
Right? It wasn't that expensive. They deliver it right to your door. They take away the old one,
and the new one's just like, it's just like all those things. The new one's probably going to run so much more efficient. You know what I mean? Like it's cost you less. All that other stuff.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
That's a good call.
That's
dude.
coming today, and thanks for that listener for basically maybe saving my fish. And maybe he said, please share that with your listeners because there's probably a lot of guys like me that have the old freezer in the garage
on autopilot in your garage.
You don't even think about it, right?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be brutal.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I had a fun text come through. It says, "Hey guys, great show. I'm hoping you could discuss how to target white sea bass, especially on my trip down to Cedros. I'm going next week, and I was wondering if Doug could share some of the things that guys have been catching white sea bass. I heard that they're biting down there."
And where was the location?
I go to Cedros on Cedros.
Oh, okay. So that is not my sweet spot of expertise, and there's been a lot of good white sea bass, probably one of the best years we've had in a while up here.
Yeah.
So Catalina and Clemente and the typical squid grounds and, in the dark, in the gray, that type of thing. And I've just read the reports about Cedros, but I don't have any specific information about how they're targeting, when they're targeting.
So one of like the hottest things that has been the biggest thing for Cedros is something that we just got a whole bunch of, and we have them actually from two different manufacturers, those like double XL flukes, and both Corey from MC and then US Bait Co. We have 7-inch and 8-inch those big flukes, and then that brand new lead head
So
that
white
Leadmaster
fluke?
just came out with. That is the thing. If you're going on one of those Cedros trips, stock up on some of the. We just had a new batch.
How big of a head?
We carry them in 1 ounce, ounce and a half, 2 ounce, and 3 ounce. But the ounce and a half has been kind of the money. Ounce and a half and 2 ounce would be the two size, and it's that squid, gets its style head. It's got an extra heavy duty hook on it because hopefully you're fishing a fish that's upwards of 40 or 50 pounds. But yeah, that white fluke, and we just had a big order hit the shop just the last day or two.
Get him at Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Whenever we talk sea bass with Doug, I always think I have this picture of Doug pulling a big sea bass. I wonder if that mesquite area ever bit this year. Because we used to go down there, down south, down to Baja. I didn't think of anybody going down there. You guys would know better.
A lot of the sea bass this year seems to be island oriented,
right?
And Cedros is another proof of that.
But there's been some coastal fish too.
There have been. Yeah. It's that was just such an interesting era where we had about 3 or 4 or 5 years of that. And it was the big tankers on the coast.
Yeah.
And
how fun was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And the islands didn't really have it. And this definitely seems to be more, all the way from the Channel Islands, Catalina, Clemente, Cedros. And I haven't heard that much coastal. I mean, there's some isolated fish there. I know Brandon Hayward, he's been making his living on the sea bass this year. Yeah,
for sure.
That's the way to catch sea bass.
No doubt about it. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out what lucky caller or texter is going to win those brand new Costa sunglasses. More Let's Talk Hookup with Doug Kern of Fisherman's Landing Tackle when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and YouTube Live. One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the spacious and comfortable 85-foot Liberty. With bunks for your comfort, a huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Fisherman's Landing also boasts the best captains and crews in the business, from seasoned veterans to our young future legends. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
This is Pete Gray to tell you about my fishing buddy, Dan Hume, and his amazing company, Hume Termite. As you know, Southern California is infested with termites. It's a constant battle for anyone who owns a home, and that's where Hume Termite come in. They're strictly termite experts. They start with a thorough inspection to find out why you have termites in the first place, then recommend sustainable treatment options that work. Hume Termite has been controlling my termites for years, and I have recommended them to numerous friends. Did you know 99% of termite companies are commission-based? Not Hume Termite. They're all salaried employees, and with a thorough inspection, they'll help you solve your termite problems, not sell you something you don't need. Let Dan and his crew earn your business through customer service and trust. It's swarming season, and now is the time to call Hume Termite at 760-598-2201. They'll come out and give you honest answers to solve your termite issues. Check HumeTermite.com
fishdope.com.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning.
Wyatt and Waylon are in the studio here.
Yeah, if you're on the webcam, the boys came in to say hi, and hey, it's time to find out who's got themselves a brand new pair of Costas. Doug's going to do us the honor, flip the prize coin, see if we have a caller or texter winning. Today we have a texter.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Brian in Carlsbad. You have yourself those brand new Reefton Pro gray frame silver mirror glasses. You are so stoked. Yeah, they're great glasses.
Stoked. Yeah, and Doug Kern, always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for all you do at Fisherman's Landing. And what's next? How do we come into Fisherman's Landing? Where are you?
The best way, just come on down, stop in the shops, check out the boats, get something to eat along the dock at one of the great restaurants. You can always call us at 619-221-8506. We're redoing our website. So if you go to saltwatertackle.com, you're going to get a coming soon. And it actually is coming soon. It's not going to sit there for 5 years. And we look forward to seeing everybody down. We've got another 3 months of good fishing, so come on down.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for listening. Thanks to Jeff at the Fan. Thanks to Adam for all he does on Let's Talk Hookup out. Thanks to you out there very much for watching us today and listening today. Carl Schmidt from Fisherman's Landing. We have the insight of what's going on tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Right back here on Facebook and YouTube Live, 97.3 The Fan, and of course that Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.